Hi, I'm Debbie Jones, and I'm Director of Special Events with the Salvation Army of Orange and Osceola Counties. And I am here with Margie Dotson of Miranda Photographic Studios.
Yeah,
Did I get that right?
Miranda Studios, but yes, it's
Yes.
photography, so
Right.
that works.
Excellent. Very good. Well, I'm so excited. We know each other, so I'm very excited to have this little time to talk with you about what you do. And one of the things that I love about your studio and what you bring to the table is you really help set the stage, really help people feel confident. And I think that's one of the things that is really important, especially for women, to feel like the picture is going to be good because too often, moms in particular, right, we're always behind the camera. And so we're never in the pictures. And it starts to become psychological that I don't want to be in the pictures because I'm not going to look good. Not going to be the best that I can be. And from personal experience and how you had a set up at the red carpet for the Bravado Awards, you take the time to tell people how to pose.
Yes.
What's going to make them not just look great, but feel confident. And I love that. So let's start with how did you get into photography and what drives you to want to do photography?
Okay, so I got into photography in high school, and I'm going to age myself here, but that was during the film era.
Yes.
That was pre-digital cameras.
Oh, I'm familiar.
And so after high school was when digital really started to make an entrance into the world, and I had to make a decision on my first camera, and that went digital. So that's when I started, and I really started with um, architecture and landscape. And then probably about 2013, 2014 is when I had a friend ask me to photograph her family. And it's interesting how people really push you out of your comfort zone. It's other people that push you to your greatness, right? So I told her, please have another photographer in mind. We're going to do a test shoot, all of that. Well, did the session, loved it. So fast forward about 5 years later, a friend asked me to photograph her before session for her wedding. And I was like, it's not what I do. Just make sure you have somebody else on the side. And then I photographed her, and it was amazing. So between her pushing me out of my comfort zone to really photograph her and show her how beautiful she is, and the response to that in the photos, and my background with my mother working for a domestic shelter and knowing that there's women out there who don't feel empowered and feel that strength. So both of those things combined really pushed me to go towards newborn photography. And then as a business owner, being around other wonderful female business owners, that has empowered me to really go forward into branding photography as well, to bring their personalities out, right? Really be in front of the camera and be comfortable. So
That's such a key because I think there's a difference between comfortable and confidence.
yes,
And to have somebody feel comfortable with you and how you're setting up the shot, how you're talking through um, the poses, or even just the natural, like what feels natural, what's going to convey that natural feel across in the photo. I think that that's really important. And people can have all the confidence in the world, but not really necessarily comfortable,
yes,
and especially comfortable with seeing the picture
Yes.
after the fact. And I think that that's really important to set that stage right out of the gate, and to be able to just let them shine in their natural way is always going to be beautiful in the end result of a picture. And I think we're our worst critic, right? As women, especially moms, it's like, no, let the focus be on kids. I've done Christmas card photos since my kids were born. Am I in any of them?
nope.
And I'm not alone on that. I
Yeah.
know this. And I think it's important that we not neglect ourselves in those photos. And I think one of the things that is important when selecting a photographer is somebody that you can have a rapport with and that you can trust. So the fact that you didn't trust yourself is kind of ironic. But I'm glad you came full circle and realized that you can trust your instincts, and it will help that collaboration with whoever your model is.
We all start somewhere.
That's right. That's right. And I think give your website because I want to talk a little bit about what's on your website.
Okay, so my website is marandostudios.com. It's MARANDO studios.com. And on there, I have all the different options and some of my work.
Some great examples and really some very key points to be looking at and to just help. You've got a little how to prepare for your photo.
Yes.
Which is really great because I think sometimes that's half the battle is we get in our heads, right? We were talking about this earlier. We get in our heads or somebody else gets in our heads about how we're going to look. We'll see images on Pinterest and, oh, look at this beautiful family and this very color coded. Well, I only have 4 people in my family and try to get everybody to coordinate and be happy with whatever colors have been chosen or to have to work around the most difficult person in your party becomes a challenge. So having it laid out in a way that can be easily digested, and then the examples that you show in your website breaks down all from boudoir to individual personalized photo sessions, and from a business standpoint, having headshots and those kind of things, but then also event opportunities and just being able to you work with pets. Work with animals and children and families and individuals who want to have that special photo session. And those opportunities are endless for that.
They are. So I specialize in boudoir branding and portraiture. Boudoir is something that I am super passionate about because we don't tend to see ourselves as everybody else sees us, right? So you look in the mirror, you see that one person, and usually, I don't know about you when you look in the mirror, but when I look in the mirror, I'm not smiling at myself.
Nope, right?
So we have almost that RBF face, and that's what we see, and that's like ourselves and our identity. Everybody else gets to see us smiling, us laughing, all of our expressions. So that's really what I try to bring out in probably all of my photography is those phases of you in your life, you smiling, you laughing. I love natural photos where it's just you and your natural expression. And I've done some courses in emotive photography, which is really bringing that emotion out of you. So when you look at that photo, it's not just you posing and smiling with like that cheesy smile.
Right.
It's that true, genuine emotion coming out. So you see that in your photos.
And I think as I was looking through your gallery, and one thing that really stood out in my mind was how you can pose in the settings that you can choose nowadays. That just weren't typical. You know, we all had the like Olin Mills,
Oh
the JCPenney or Sears photos, and you were all. Every family has these pictures where everybody is posed the same exact way. I graduated in the 80s, so my high school senior portrait looks exactly like everybody else's. That's not me.
No.
Like red feather boa in one, like totally not me. Right? So why were we walked into that with the black velvet dream? And I think where there's so much more of that personality can come out and you really get a true essence of somebody's being through the different opportunities that are available now. Senior portraits can be anything. They don't have to be, locked in with the blue background and the black drape. And I love that because when you said personality, let that personality shine. That's how everybody wants to be remembered. That's how everybody wants to be thought of is that ability to, just really tell a story through that picture because that's important. Again, for building your own self-awareness and character, but also, for your family and friends to, see come out of this photo.
Exactly. And that's why for every session, I do a planning and strategy session. And it's a meeting where my client and I will get together, whether it's in person, at their home, coffee shop, virtual, wherever. But I really want to sit down and talk to them and find out what their goals are, what they really want to convey in the images, whether it's the family or not. Some families want those like everybody's looking at the camera and smiling. Some families are like, I hate those. I want just natural reaction. So it's really finding what each person wants and needs. And that's why like that's super important. I will do that first thing.
Yeah.
Because I want to know exactly what
Right,
your goal is and what your goal is.
And the branding component, I think that we're hearing more and more about that these days. And it's not just, corporations and companies talk about branding, right? Everybody knows the Golden Arches, that's McDonald's, that's their brand. But when you look at your individual brand, whether you're an individual independent business owner or you are representing another company, you still have to invoke your brand and build your brand. And I think that that's something that is continuing to be talked about. I think it's really great, especially for getting yourself out there in public and in the business world, knowing who you are and helping to create that image that can carry your business, not just your individual, whatever you're selling or whatever you're doing, but it's part of that marketing. And I think that branding and helping people identify their own particular brand and then putting it in photo is really important.
People do business with people they like, right? And it's always been taught in sales and marketing that really the person that you're going to do the business with is the person that you resonate with. And so, how are we going to put our personalities out there if this is our headshot? Right. So again, the Olan Mills and all of that, it's all cookie cutter, and we don't want that. In order for your brand to stand out, whether you are with a corporation and you're representing another brand or your own, you really want to show your personality. And that's what branding photography is. It's showing your personality to really bring in that target client that you want to work with, instead of bringing other people that maybe doesn't fit the bill or the client that the company needs. So showing who you are and your personality is essential. And it could be just regular branding headshots, where it's showing you working, you smiling, you laughing, you being real. Everybody laughs because when I bring them into the studio, and you've probably witnessed this before, is I do the fake laugh.
Yes.
Everybody knows my fake laugh. Like, it's so funny when I'm doing an event now and there's other people around who've heard that before. They're like, and they laugh too.
Yes.
But what that does, it's not that I'm getting your laugh while we're doing the fake laugh. I'm getting the laugh after, when you're laughing at yourself because you feel so safe.
Yes.
And that really is some of the tips and tricks that I bring to the table when trying to, focus on your personality and getting that personality to come out.
Right. Because how many times have you seen somebody on a website or in their brochure and you think, okay, this is the insurance or real estate person I'm going to call, and they're in a three-piece suit and their hair and makeup's all done, and then they show up for your meeting and they look nothing like that. And you don't really get that, hey, is this somebody I'm going to work well with? Because I liked this other person, but this personality is not jumping out at me as what was on paper. So,
and that's why I always tell my clients to bring in a few different outfits. So one is going to be your three-piece suit, this is work mode, and then something that's more business casual, and then something fun. So something you would wear on the weekends. That way you get a little bit of all of your personalities into one, and you can throw those up in social media, your LinkedIn account, and people really get to know who you are through their boss.
I love that. And I mentioned LinkedIn, and I see all different types of like headshots or kind of action photos in LinkedIn, and there doesn't seem to be like the perfect, like not one size fits all, right?
No.
And I think that's where you have that opportunity to kind of brand yourself and show your personality in that picture, but that can also be tricky. So, are there guidelines that you generally use to be like, okay, I know this is your personality right now, but that's not really going to sell? Or do you try to corral them into a certain area that's going to be more true to their personality?
It really depends on their message. So I dive deep into what's your message? What do you want people to know about you and what you can offer them? So yes, I love that you love Harry Potter and the wand and all of that, but is that who you're speaking to? Like, is that your clientele? Maybe we need to put that on our personal page, unless those are the clients that you want. Right. Those are the clients that you want. Let's do it. Right. So it's just a conversation that you have to have with somebody about, what side of your personality do you really want to show?
I love that. And yes, I've seen some Harry Potter,
Yes.
your sports teams or, and that just invokes potentially a rivalry, right? If you're like, well, we're going to beat you. And then that's not conducive to building a good business relationship.
Exactly.
necessarily.
Exactly.
So I love that. And in looking at some of the things that you've done from an event standpoint, obviously the Bravado Awards, the red carpet, and that in general can be either an uncomfortable platform for some people walking in, and we saw it, we were there together, and some people were like, "Oh no, I don't want my picture taken." More people were all gussied up and said, "I don't typically wear this, so yes, let's get my picture taken." So just taking both ends of the extreme, making them feel comfortable, and getting the best highlights out of that is really important. There are tips and tricks to ensuring that across the board, everybody's gonna look and feel the greatest at that moment.
It really depends on the person. So I've been doing this for so long now that I know different personality types, right? So if somebody comes across that's super timid and really shy, then I'll take a lower tone with them. Like, hey, this, and it goes along with my emotive coaching. Just your vocal intonation can really affect somebody. So if somebody is um, more out there and they're enjoying life and they don't care who sees them type of personality, I have fun with that. Like, let's go, let's do something fun and big. But if somebody's shy, I'm not going to tell them because then that's going to make them really. So it really depends on each person's personality, and I may only get 2 minutes with them as they come through, but I have to gauge their personality and go, okay, this is what they need and this is that. So I do it super quickly. And for those events, what I do is what I call a red carpet thing. So I do a photo booth where everybody comes through and they get their picture taken, and then they get the gallery at the end of it.
I love that. I think that's, again, it's important to capture those moments because we're not typically getting dolled up. And especially, we were talking earlier about the casualness of attire these days. So to be able to capture those moments and show what people are thinking and feeling as they're, dressed up or they're celebrating something, I think is really important. And you do engagement photos, and that's obviously another very special situation that you want to make sure you're capturing that before it lasts a lifetime, right? And it passed on to generations and generations. So you want that to be that. You want that to represent who they are, and I'm sure you probably have fun with those because that's
It's a lot of fun, and it really is at the heart of everything that I do. Is really capturing each individual personality, right? It's not a cookie cutter. Like, this is the pose I'm going to do for 50 people. This is what it is. I really getting that genuine, especially with couples, getting that genuine love they have for each other in there, and just getting those private moments with them. Those are absolutely just like the boudoir. Like when I do boudoir, it's really capturing those, the intimate moments with somebody and really capturing who they are. And yeah, I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah. I love that. I again, I think that just speaks volumes to how you get to know and relate to whoever you're photographing, and especially in those sections where it isn't a red carpet, 100 people walking by, but more so you're getting to know them. You're getting, especially in the boudoir setting.
I
it
love the
obviously
one-on-one.
is.
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
And I think that what just again knowing you and your personality and being able to relax somebody enough to feel that confidence and just kind of have fun with that. Of course, some people are going to be more serious and I can imagine there's, you know, all different types of personalities.
Oh no, even the serious ones I like joking with. And that's the thing at my studio. We have fun.
Good.
Like we have fun, we play music, we just have a great time. It's not stuffy. There's those words do not resound with me, so I don't do a stuffy headshot. I don't know stuffy. It's just,
That's good. That's good.
we have to have fun. We're gonna have fun.
And it will show in the photo.
Yes,
Now, you have a studio, but you also do location.
I do. So I do have a photo studio. It's over by UCF, so Alafaya University. And I do on location. So for typically for portraits and branding, a lot of times they'll want something at a specific location. So for branding, whether it's a house, a business, for portraits, it might be like that beautiful field.
Yes.
I do shoot outdoors October through April. I take off from shooting outdoors in the summer because nobody wants that sweaty
Right.
on their face, and I don't like sweating either.
Yes.
To be honest.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb.
Yes. So I do shoot in those.
Okay, great. If somebody comes to you and wants a specific location, falls within those months that you don't want to be outside, you know, do you offer other suggestions or
Yes.
ideas? So you'll work with coming up with something that is
Absolutely. So doing this for so long, I have a bunch of different locations that people may not think of. So again, I want to understand their message or what if like it's if it's a senior.
Yes.
I want to know what their interests are and what they want to portray and their personality. And I might be able to suggest a location that they haven't thought of. So knowing all the different locations, different possibilities is super important.
I love it. And what do you, for families, and especially when my kids were little, but now as teenagers, trying to get everybody to look at the camera at the same time and smile at the same time. I'll throw my husband into that mix. It's impossible. So
It's
are there
not
ways?
impossible.
It's not impossible. How do you work through those situations? And then throw a dog in there too, because then trying to get kids and dog and husband to all cooperate. Can you imagine?
So that's where the having fun part comes in. And I get this from a lot of the male spouses where they're like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Because they're usually the ones that are like, I don't want to be here. This is not what I want to do. But I make it fun. And that really is the trick. It's just to make it fun for everybody. So for the smaller kids, you make fart jokes. And for the bigger kids, I don't know, you ask them what their favorite thing to do is and get on their level and find something that really helps them get into the moment. And for the guys, honestly, just like the smaller kids, throw some fart jokes out there. Like,
Of course.
you just can't be too serious.
Right.
Because I don't know. Yeah, we're too serious already. And
Right.
then throwing that in the world of something that's already super stressful and maybe they don't want to be there, including the children.
Exactly.
Just having fun and letting them know, just relax. Be yourself. You can't do anything wrong. We're gonna get good pictures no matter what. So just throw your plans out the window and we're gonna get it. And not saying, okay, look here, smile at the camera is actually one of those ways that I do get everybody to come and like look and smile. Research psychology. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that takes so much pressure on like the mom
Yes.
because invariably I'm the most stressed out in any
Always.
family gathering situation. I'm probably the one that has planned it. I'm probably the only one who knows how much it costs. I am probably the only one that has set any kind of expectations and has a budget problem.
Yep.
And, you know, we have to, first of all, relieve ourselves of the expectations and, you know that we're going to get what we get. And, you know, as someone whose first Christmas card with children went out with one kid screaming their head off, it's okay. Like, that's where, you know, you just have to say, okay, this is the best we're going to get. And so for you to take on that responsibility, it's such a wonderful thing. It's such a godsend because I think if anybody can walk into the studio or into an environment and know that I put this in your hands and that the results are still going to be amazing because maybe it is the true essence of who we are. It is the true essence of
the
my daughter
family.
to be screaming. So it's okay that her first Christmas card was
I
crying.
love that.
The second one, she's flipping a bird. So, you just kind of roll with it and know that that's personality. Yes, I'll show you that later. But I think to be able to walk in and to have that sense, especially in a family photo situation, to just be relieved of that stress
Yes.
and know that it doesn't have to be the prim and proper and everybody's
Yeah.
hands folded.
And it's really setting that expectation ahead of time. So during the strategy and design consultation, that's what we talk about. We talk about getting the genuine emotion of what's going on that day, right? And then taking that stress off of you. So I know moms always want that everybody looking at the camera and smiling, but is that really what you want?
Right.
Is that really because you want your family dynamic to show through in those images? And sometimes the family dynamic is not everybody looking at the camera.
No,
and
it's much
smiling.
more chaotic than that.
Yes, and that's okay. And it's really embracing that and embracing where your family is at this moment in time, and really trying to take that pressure off of you, the mom, and wanting to get that perfect image. Well, that perfect image may not be what you have in your head. It's actually what your family looks like right now.
I love that. I think playing that off is so great, and I think that that's again just a huge relief for us. So tell us about Frosty Paws.
Ooh, okay. So I'm an animal lover, so I decided to kind of throw in some pet photography as well. And I have a special right now for at the end of November. It's a marathon session, which a lot of people know as mini sessions.
Yeah.
It's 2 days. It's a Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd, I believe. And I have 2 different sets for your pets. So cat, dog, goat, raccoon, whatever you want to bring into the studio, you can bring it. Like I love all animals. A friend of mine has bunnies, and I'm hoping she brings them in.
Oh
to
my
the studio.
gosh.
Like I love
Adorable.
but the 2 sets are it's a white set with snow, and there's a fireplace in the background, and a deer in the back. And then the other set has more of the reds and the greens. It's a little bit darker, almost like inside of a home. It has Christmas trees. It's more traditional. There's a winding staircase in the back. It's really pretty. So you can do one set or you can do both. It's totally up to you, but it's really an opportunity to capture your pets at this point in time. I had a pet that passed away last year, so their time with us is super short. And we love them so much. We love them like they're our family members. So we want to really capture that.
Oh my goodness. So how can people sign up for that?
So on my website, there is an events tab. It's awesome.
Okay, wonderful. Is with capturing pets, I can't imagine how challenging that can be. And I'm not so sure they're going to respond the same to fart jokes as children. What tricks do you use to capture the pets in the best light?
The pet parents help. So I definitely need the pet parents there. I can't do it alone. I even tried to do it alone with my little pup, and he does well, but it's definitely helpful to have the pup parent there. We have treats, we have toys.
Okay.
Just kind of like
Yes,
like
right.
yeah, ride them.
Yep, I love it.
And just really capture them when you have that moment in time. You do it.
That's
It's
great.
chaotic,
Sure.
but it's a fun chaos.
Well, that makes for great Christmas cards, I'm sure,
Yes.
as well as just remembering your pets and letting them be in the spotlight. Can you do combined family and pets during those sessions?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. So again, they can sign up on your website.
Yes.
To the events tab.
Correct.
Excellent. Are there any additional? Oh yes, we forgot to tell people where we are. So we are at Boardwalk Bowl, which is on East Colonial, close to Rouse Road, just west of the Rouse Road intersection on East Colonial. Again, Boardwalk Bowl. This is quite good. We're not in the bowling alley. That's why you can't hear pins being knocked down. That is happening over there. We're in a restaurant and bar space that is quite ginormous. And this is quite the place. So stay tuned for right after us is Great Lunch Adventures here at Boardwalk Bowl. Definitely come out and check it out. Great food. They have a great menu. There's bowling, there's arcade games, there's all kinds of events and fun stuff.
They even set up so first of all, if you haven't been here in a while, like I remember coming here maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been here in a while, it has changed. It's gorgeous, it's updated, it's beautiful. There's a cornhole in the main bar area that's set up beautifully. Just come check it out again.
Yes. It's Boardwalk Bowl on East Colonial. All right. Well, thank you so much, Margie. I appreciate you being here. Yes. And be sure to get your pets photos and your boudoir photos and everything else. And that's it. Say your website again.
So Miranda Studios, it's mirandastudios.com, MARAND Studios.
Excellent. Very good. Well, we'll see everybody at Great Lunch Adventures here at